Well, welcome to our devotional. It's good to be here with you. Well, you know that we're doing this series on Is Jesus Relevant? We're also trying to answer the questions, if I'm a Christian, what can I do to help make Jesus more relevant to other people? And if I'm a non-Christian, I hope that you will see that, Jesus has at least some relevance, and maybe you will consider the claims of Jesus. Well, let me ask you a question. If you ask a Christian person, what is Christianity? What would they say? What would they say? They'd say, Christianity is about believing in Jesus. Christianity is about believing that Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of the living God, who was crucified, who died and rose again from the dead. And Jesus paid the penalty for my sins. And yeah, Christianity is about that, and then also about following the teachings of Jesus. Yeah, that's what Christianity is about. Yeah, and I agree with you. But if you asked a non-Christian, somebody that's not a Christian, what is Christianity? They might tell you Christianity is what people who say they're Christians do. On the one hand, the Christian thinks it's about a belief system, and about and the other person, the non-Christian, thinks it's about what they see Christians doing. You can understand how there can be some issues here with people who are not Christians not getting an accurate representation of what Christianity is really all about. And because of that inaccurate understanding of Christianity, they can say, that's irrelevant. Let me give you some examples. What happens is you get Christians that act in ways that are contrary to the teachings of Jesus, and people then get a misperception of who Jesus is and what Christianity is all about. And I want to give you some examples, some common, I think, misperceptions. On the one hand, they may see a Christian hating. But Jesus, that hating is so far from the teachings of Christians. It's a misconception, because Jesus taught us to love our neighbors as ourselves, told us to even love our enemies and pray for those who persecute us. Furthermore, Jesus even related hate as being as bad as murder. But if someone sees a Christian hating, they think all Christians are hating. They get a misconception of Christianity. The same is true with racism. There might be a Christian who portrays racist attitude, but racism is so apart from the teachings of Jesus. I mean, Jesus loved everybody. He even loved the Samaritans, which were the most hated people when he walked on the earth. He even showed love to tax collectors, even showed love to lepers, ostracized people from society. Now, there's no room for racism, but sometimes a non-Christian sees a Christian do racist things, and they think all Christians are racist. The same is true for judgmental. Sometimes a Christian might be judgmental, and when Jesus says, do not judge, you have to judge situations, but we're not allowed to judge a person's salvation according to Jesus' teaching, and we're not supposed to judge their hearts. The same falls true. Clergy. Some clergy falls to sexual sins. They say, well, all Christians are like that. No, Jesus clearly teaches that adultery is wrong. Furthermore, Jesus clearly teaches that lust is as bad as adultery. And or you see a Christian that's non-forgiving. He's a non-forgiving Christian. That's contrary to Jesus' teaching. Jesus teaches that in the Lord's Prayer, that we are to forgive, that we ask to have our trespasses forgiven, just as we forgive other people. Jesus even takes it one more step. He says, if you don't forgive others, God's liable not to forgive you. So it's really important for us to be a forgiving people. Nevertheless, some aren't, and people get a misconception of what Christianity is all about. You think about gossiping, think about being ethical in business, think about being a hypocrite, or the televangelists who get rich selling the gospel, or Christians ignoring the. All those things are bad witnesses for Jesus that end up having people who see them maybe get a misperception as to what Christianity is all about and drawing the conclusion that it is relevant. You know, it's really, really interesting that when a Christian does anything that is contrary to the teaching of Jesus, people can get a misperception about who Jesus is and what it's all about to be Christians. You say, all right. If that's true, which I think it's true, I think we all agree that that's true, and I'm a Christian, what can I do? What can I do about it? Well, first of all, if you're a Christian, you need to recognize that you are an ambassador of Jesus. You are his representative. Jesus commands you to let your light shine in such a way that they can see your good works. Said another way, Jesus wants you to be a good postcard for Jesus. You are his ambassador, and you need to accept the fact that people are going to look at you as Jesus' ambassador. And when you are a good postcard for Jesus, people get attracted to Jesus. When you're a bad postcard for Jesus, people will maybe get a misconception about what Christianity is all about and consider it to be irrelevant. You say, well, how can I be a good postcard? Well, number one thing, follow the teachings of Jesus. If you follow the teachings of Jesus and you live out your Christian life following the teachings of Jesus, everything will be fine. And even if somebody gets offended by what you do, if you're following the teachings of Jesus, you've done what you have to do, and everything's going to be okay. Furthermore, you need to be really careful about how you portray yourself in public. For instance, be careful what you post on the internet. Don't post things that could be considered to be hateful or prejudiced or whatever. Be careful about the slogans you have in your t-shirts. Make sure they really conform to what Jesus is all about. Make sure how you act at sports events or driving or when you're out in public. But the most important thing as a Christian is to follow the teachings of Jesus. Well, if you're a non-Christian, what is my advice to you? Well, my pleading to you is to do something that's very difficult. What I plead and ask you to do is understand that sometimes people who claim to be Christians are bad actors. And I want you to understand that by seeing what they do, you may not get an accurate, and you probably will not get an accurate representation of what Christianity is all about. You have to remember, Christians are sinners too, and they sometimes do things that they shouldn't do, and you shouldn't judge all of Christianity because of one or two really bad actors. If you're interested in learning about Christianity, watch these devotionals, watch the Bible studies. That's one of the reasons why I do that, so that people get an accurate representation of what Christianity is. Go and talk to a priest, talk to a pastor, talk to a Christian friend. Maybe they can give you a good understanding of what Christianity is really about. And for goodness sakes, don't get your ideas of what Christianity is all about from the media. And by the media, I mean the newspapers, or from movies, or from TV shows, or for what's written on the internet. Most of the people that write about Christianity in the media, or they depict it in the media, have ulterior motives. They're trying to exaggerate things. They're trying to get how many clicks, and some are even blatantly anti-Christian. And they will go out of their way, do whatever they can to destroy the cause of Christ because of whatever reason. I'm not going to judge them, but for whatever reason, they hate the cause of Jesus and they misrepresent it purposefully. Well, with all that said, I really have two things to conclude with today. My first conclusion is this: if you're a Christian, please, 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 please be a good postcard for Jesus. And now there's only one thing left to say. Say it with me. Aloha. See you there. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you all. Have a great day.